All right. Hello everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of For the Love of the Game Cricket Podcast. And you are seeing me again on the hosting seat because Saptak is still not available with us to record. So I'm here. I'm joined by Dr. Sagar from North Stand Gang. Yesterday Amaya Dada was here. Today Sagar is here. So we are getting guest appearances from people who just love talking about the game. So thank you so much, Sagar, for joining us. Uh,
Thank you, Pranav, for having me. Pleasure, and always fun talking cricket with you.
Yeah, so let's just quickly get started. So the news of the day is that Australia clinches the Border Gavaskar Trophy after probably a decade. So 2014 was the last time that they had. Since then, they did not have the Border Gavaskar Trophy, and they will meet South Africa in Lords in June. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about the day's play? Because we expected Jadeja and Washington Sundar to at least add 30 runs, but eventually the uh, 4 wickets fell for a paltry 16 runs. So let's start from there. What do you think about our total, and was it defendable at all?
Uh, See, I mean, expecting runs from Washington and Jadeja against this attack on this wicket, uh, I would not say that's the right right way of doing things, because where your top six, seven batters have failed, you can't actually do that. Okay, so it would have been a bonus had they scored some runs. It would have been an added cushion, but the biggest blow I feel was the unavailability of Jasprit Bumrah. Uh, and I think we have discussed this before. A person who is at the peak of his powers, and remember I was telling you that if he was there, forget 160. I don't think 120 or 130 also would have been possible for Australia. He would have single-handedly, taken India to victory here. So I'm just uh, just what you can say. Disappointed is a very generic kind of a term, but the entire bowling effort, just क्या पता नहीं, I'm not finding the word really.
So I do understand, but the problem here was, of course, unavailability of Jasprit Bumrah. But if you look at the fall of wickets for Australia, it was one for 39, two for 52, three for 58, and four for 104. So I think
Hmm.
that is where the lack of discipline from the bowlers, even without Bumrah, you picked up five for 20 odd runs in the first
Hmm.
innings.
Hmm.
So I think the way they utilized the new ball was wayward because Prasidh Krishna was all over the
Yeah.
place initially.
Yeah.
Uh, Probably Kohli would have trusted Nitish Kumar Reddy with the new ball. I don't think anything different could have happened, but
Happen. Yeah.
probably that sets up to our next topic that we want to discuss, and it's obviously no runs from the batting hurts bowling. Because one thing that I seriously don't understand, except Jaiswal and KL Rahul and Pant to an extent,
Hmm.
you have no runs from your top five.
Hmm.
Uh, and that is why I think they picked Jadeja and Washington Sundar. So
Hmm.
if you could have benched one of those for say Harshit Rana, would it have made any difference? What do you think about that?
It wouldn't have, Pranav. And okay, Kohli will firstly shout at you saying Perth 100, Perth 100. But yeah, you're right. See, majorly this has been an abject batting failure. I mean, come on, out of the 10 innings, how many innings have you crossed even a 200?
Less than six times. So uh,
Six times? No, no,
we've
less.
we
It's just two
I
times, I
mean
think.
we have scored less than 206 times. So
Yeah,
in the
exactly,
entire series, so we have not crossed
exactly.
200. In the last eight test matches, we have made the bat bowling teams take the second new ball in our first innings only twice. It happened in Chennai.
Absolutely,
It happened last game in Melbourne when Tish Reddy and Washington Sundar put on a
absolutely.
partnership.
Absolutely. And if you see, this is not just the BGT story. This is what has been happening for quite some time, and then you've had those rescue acts down the order, which unfortunately or fortunately, you know, so that things fall in perspective, did not happen. The rescue acts did not happen except for Nitish's 100. So you know, Sean of this rescue acts, the batting has gotten exposed.
Interesting you say that because, as I said, we have only scored 200 twice, 200 plus twice in this series. And whenever we have scored 200 plus twice, once in Perth, we have gone on to win the test match.
Yeah.
Second time in Adelaide, I think we scored around 168, where
Hmm.
Australia had a target of 18 runs.
Yeah.
So in Gabba, we could not last quite long. In Melbourne, we had a rescue act. So, do you think that the lower order has been rescuing us for the last 3 years, even at home? Because
Hmm.
the way Ashwin and Jadeja and even Washington Sundar, Aksa Patel gave us runs, um, that did not wake us up probably for overseas tours. Do you think it that way? Because uh, these players are giants at home because they can spin the ball and
Absolutely.
they can score runs.
Yeah.
But when it comes to overseas tests, probably this is not enough because you might think a Nitish Kumar Reddy could come in at 5 and give some
Hmm.
cushion to Pant, because I know you're an advocate to Nitish Reddy batting at higher up the order. 7 is surely not his place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then, if you have to rejig the side, assuming that it's the same 11, how do
Hmm.
you actually go about it? Because you want Pant at 6, Jadeja at 7, Nitish Kumar Reddy at 5.
Hmm.
Then the problem is actually with top 4, right? Shubman Gill is not giving you runs. He's giving you starts, but he's not giving you runs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody is there to complement Jaiswal as much as KL Rahul would want to, because he's averaging
Hmm.
32 this series.
Hmm.
It's been a story for him that he starts the series on a bang, but ends it on a paltry note. But this series should give him England series. That's what I think, because you persisted
Um,
with him as an opener. You then shifted him down to 3, and that's where it's a mental problem. You then had a pink ball test, so not much to expect from KL Rahul. So
yeah.
assuming that these two are locked, Nitish Reddy is at 5, Pant at 6, Jadeja at 7.
Hmm.
Assuming we'll also take Kohli at 4 for England series, worst case.
Yeah.
Who do you think slots in at 3? Who do you think slots in at 8, 9, 10, and 11? One of those slots or two of those slots is Bumrah and Siraj. So, who do you think fits in as a condition-based bowler for England? Because we need to look ahead if we are looking at a transition phase, assuming Rohit Sharma is not there in the side.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So I'll take this point by point. So initially, since you mentioned about you know, the rescue act, and then whether this bowling attack, or whether we have been hiding behind
All
some individual
rounders.
performances and the all rounder performances done. So I mean, I think you nailed it basically. So uh, even at home, if you see, Bumrah and Shami are so in fact Shami's absence has hurt us more, huh? Apart from
You're right.
Bumrah's injury, I think it is Shami's absence which has hurt us more, because again, last 4 years, 5 years, if you see, both of them, Bumrah and Shami, have been absolute beasts in red ball cricket. And Shami, if you tell me, he's easily one of the top 10 bowlers, fast bowlers, or top 10 bowlers, test bowlers when it comes to, I mean, globally also, not just India. So Shami's absence, and then Ashwin's departure mid-series, because Ashwin has been very, very instrumental in getting those runs also, and then at home or wherever or the wickets have offered some help, he's gotten you wickets. And more than wickets, Ashwin also adds the stability factor. If you see, whenever he goes wicketless, he is never taken for runs. Ashwin, okay, and that is where again in Melbourne or in Sydney we faced, and especially in this innings, last innings, they have scored at almost 6 runs per over. Okay,
Right.
So that discipline thing was absolutely not there. The plan was not there.
Mm.
Bumrah's absence, not only as a bowler but as a leader, was also felt. Where Prasid and Siraj seemed to be left. I mean, they're having no clue. So that is very that those are worrying signs, if you ask me. And going ahead, I think we don't play Test cricket for some time, and then when we go to England,
July, I think June
yeah,
end we start, or
yeah,
July.
yeah. So the optimist in me says that I hope Kohli calls it a day, and there is a complete overall of this team, because see, we might take him to England, and we might extend his failing career, but we are not doing good to the team in the long run. Trust me, because even if he plays one more cycle, he's just occupying a place wherein you can actually groom someone for the next 10 years. Okay, and I don't think that is the right approach. First of all, so I know that won't happen. I know that won't happen, but I would still like if that goes through. And again, Gill, I think, has got enough opportunities. It is not, Pranav. It is not about the numbers, in the sense that how many runs has he got, or how many, what is his average and all that. It is the way he's getting out.
Correct.
Sydney, both his dismissals were absolute brain fades. Brain fades. I mean, he's a much better batsman. We all know, and that is where it hurts. When you have the ability, when everyone knows you have that ability, which where you can be better than what you are showing to be. That then the shows, yeah, matlab, then maybe you're not serious enough. That both the innings, he is going down the track and playing some shots, which are nothing shots. So Gill, absolute disappointment, considering that he's young and there's so much promise. KL, yeah, as you said, since he showed that application, maybe England series, to redeem himself further,
He
he has
has a
gone
couple of
through.
hundreds opening the batting,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah,
also
yeah.
plays
And
in his
and and
favor.
and in England,
Yeah,
you need someone who leaves the ball
closer to his body.
closer to his body, and I don't see any other batter, to be very honest,
Yeah,
doing that. But
we do have an 8 over before we
yes,
go
yes,
to
yes. So
England.
so
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 the
really would
versus the
like
Lions.
these guys to get a hit,
But
Ishwaran.
there is an IPL, so it is difficult. I mean, the tournament is scheduled somewhere around May end,
Hmm,
and I think
hmm.
IPL starts March 15 to May 15. So you could say teams who have not qualified could go for that tour.
Yeah, yeah.
But then
See,
again,
now the problem
there's a
is,
problem,
Pranav.
right?
Yeah, yeah. So the problem now, Pranav, is Sarfaraz. We know he's good in home conditions. Okay, he again, that he's a domestic beast again. But then, since we did not try him at all in Australia, we don't know how he is in foreign conditions, whether he can handle the swing, whether he can handle the green pitch away from in India. We don't know that. So ideally, he would have got a look in, and then that would have helped us to assess him for the future. But again, he has to be in the plans
Mm.
going ahead, for the middle order 4 and 5, and then you need to bring in Jurel. Nitish Reddy, interesting case, Pranav, because I feel he should have been promoted in this series itself, considering his form and all that. You remember how VVS Lakshman was asked to open when
Yeah,
he had done well in Australia, and he got a, I think, a 160, if I'm not wrong,
160.
opening the batting. It was at Sydney only. Yeah,
The 241, 160, Sachin
yeah.
241 game. Yeah.
Sydney, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the point is, you had to show that tactical acumen, that
Mhm.
adaptability, which wasn't there. They were too rigid. Irrespective, Nitish, I feel, should be there in the playing 15. His inclusion in the playing 11 depends, and totally depends, on the balance of what you want. Okay.
No, I think,
Uh,
look, the problem with us as a team is that we don't trust a lot of players who bring in a lot of value to the team, but
Hmm.
we look at the skills.
Hmm.
So that the thing that I'm trying to point out here is that why did the team choose Jadeja and Washington Sundar is because they anticipated the pitch to turn. Basically, they read the pitch horribly wrong. That is fine,
Horribly wrong. Horribly. Yes.
and
Yes.
they wanted batting depth, so they basically trusted the skills over the team's balance. And
Hmm.
when something of that sort happens, you probably don't get your combinations right. But
Yeah.
in case of England, this 11 might just exactly work. The reason I'm saying that is because if you give England a seaming track, England at the moment don't have the seam bowling attack to knock off an
Hmm.
opposition, right? So if you look at Matthew Potts, Bryden Cars, they are good prospects. I'm not
Yeah.
denying that at all. But apart from Chris Wokes, they don't have somebody who swing the ball both ways,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
With
With the control, with the control of
by that
a
time we will
certain.
have Mohammad Shami and Mukesh Kumar in the 11,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
Arshdeep Singh as well. So
Yeah.
they won't give us green tracks. In that sense, if you play Nitish Kumar Reddy in a Shardul Thakur kind of a role, I'm referring
Hmm.
back to the last England tour,
Hmm.
do you think that will work? Because for us, if he's batting at 6 or 7, assuming that we are playing an all seam attack, forget about a spinner at all. Because I
Hmm.
think England summer the pitches should turn, so Jadeja will get a look in. But assuming that we are playing an all seam attack, how do you think that Nitish Kumar Reddy will add some value? Because I certainly feel he will, obviously providing some breathing space to the four bowlers who are going to play. But
Yeah.
will these guys take that risk of playing four seamers? That is my question.
Uh, I think they won't, because see, if Nitish is playing, he will have to bowl. That is for sure.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Just because of, मतलब when if you have that skill set, people tend to look at you that way. Okay. I mean,
Right.
now in this series they were looking at him as a pure batter. We will never know how the team was looking at
Mhm,
him, right? These are just
mhm,
speculations. We feel कि नहीं नहीं इसको pure batsman करके खिला रहे. Now even
mhm,
if they play him as a pure batsman, at say he bats 4 or 5, okay,
mhm,
just knowing that he balls decent seam up, he can
mhm.
be utilized as a seamer. But then
Correct.
we need a proper seam attack. We need at least three good seamers. If fit, Bumrah, Shami, Siraj, no doubt
Right.
about that. Okay, and then Mukesh, Arshdeep, and Akash can revolve and rotate with these top three. And
Mhm.
then in the spinning department, maybe either one of Jadeja or Ashwin. So if I have to look at
Washington Sundar.
the oh, sorry, yeah, yeah, Jadeja or Washington, yeah. So if I'm looking at the lower middle order and the tail, I would say Nitish 5 followed by Pant 6,
Mhm.
7 either Jaddu or Washi, and then 8, 9, 10, 11 are the four pacers. That is what I feel. Because if
Interesting. So
yeah,
do,
yeah, yeah,
you don't
because
want Kuldeep Yadav, is it?
uh depends on the track, Pranav, depends on the track.
Mhm,
I if is as you said, if it's not a green track and a seemingly dry or that kind of a wicket, then maybe you drop in one of the pacers, and just because Nitish gives you that pace bowling option, and you get in Kuldeep. But I don't see Kuldeep getting a place in the playing 11 in England. I don't see that, because Washington has
Interesting.
shown enough skills with the ball in
Mhm.
India, where he can play as a lone spinner, and I think the team management is also looking at him like that. And we were very unfortunate that Washi could not exhibit his
Well,
bowling skills here.
it's not unfortunate. The captain didn't
Very
trust him enough.
very, yeah. I mean, he was totally underbowled, totally underbowled.
Yeah, so we do have the England schedule displayed on our screens at the
Yeah,
moment.
like
First test is in Leeds, June 20 to 24, which is Ben Stokes' home ground.
mm,
So, what do you think? I mean, here, I feel You want five bowlers. Now, in
Yeah,
what sense do you want five bowlers? So, I know this discussion is getting a little elongated, but I'm actually intrigued to what people think, because what I think is that we will have to play three seamers minimum. So that's Bumrah,
mm,
Shami, and Mohammad Siraj.
yeah,
Do you play a left arm seamer in place of an all rounder? That is Nitish Kumar Reddy. So you have an Arshdeep Singh who's already played county cricket in England. He can swing the ball both ways. Left arm seamer always creates an rough for the spinners. So that angle also comes into picture.
yeah.
Or do you play Nitish and Jadeja both? So you have two options. One is you play all four seamers and Nitish Kumar Reddy, or you play all four seamers and Jadeja, or you play three seamers, Jadeja and Reddy, because you only have five spots, assuming Pant comes down at six, and you have Gill and Jurel occupying the remaining
I
spots.
Yeah, yeah. I feel if Arshdeep has to come into the side, he will replace either Shami or Siraj in the bowling department, and I feel the both the all rounders will definitely feature. I mean Nitish and Jadeja or Nitish and Washington, definitely because see, irrespective of whether Kohli plays, whether Gill plays or not, either of I mean both of these are replaced with someone else, it will still be a team in transition, and the team management, the leadership would still want a cushion in the lower order.
What if you
Just to
drop one of the batters and play four pacers, two all rounders, and just five batters,
brave.
including Pant?
I would call that brave.
I mean,
That's
that
very
that
brave.
is the ideal way, because you still get batting till number seven. Because I am an advocate of batting depth, but only if your top order is scoring runs, right? It should not be to save the asses of your batter
I
if
know.
if you're opting for batting depth. But that's a separate discussion. I mean, we've spent quite some time understanding how the the roadmap for India looks like. But the trending topic of the day is Jassi Vijayasapoine, player of the series, and quite rightly so, 32 wickets. I feel very sad for him that he's not able to retain the Border Gavaskar
Yeah,
Trophy as a
man.
captain.
Yeah, man.
He could not play in the spiciest pitches of the series that he mentioned. Um,
Yeah.
do you see him playing the Champions Trophy? Because what I know is that the injury is not very aggravated, so he should be in the fray for the Champions Trophy. But I don't think even if he doesn't play, it won't make a lot of difference, because
It won't.
you have enough
Won't.
you have enough depth in white ball cricket at the moment. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
and Rohit being the greatest skipper of white ball cricket for India, and I'm not being sarcastic. He is the greatest skipper for white ball
Yeah.
cricket. He's not a great skipper in red ball cricket.
Yeah.
He knows how to manage resources, especially in Dubai, where it's due friendly. So, what do you think about Jasprit Bumrah? Because he's already here. I mean, he was here. Now he's here. Is it his time for Test cricket? I mean, you have England series, you have West Indies coming home, you have South Africa coming home. You have a chance to go and create history in New Zealand, um,
Yeah.
with two tests in 2026 December. So, what's your take on Jasprit Bumrah and the future of Indian Test cricket team under him?
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, firstly, very unfortunate that he could not be there on the last day. And again, as I said, if he was there, we could be looking at 2-2. And I had already called this series as Bumrah's BGT on the other podcast.
Yeah.
And like Botham's Ashes, this was Bumrah's BGT. Uh, just sans the injury that he had. So he has definitely hit the peak, right? Now if he's hit the peak in red ball cricket, you want to utilize that peak for him as well as for the team, right?
Hmm.
Now I don't know, personally, if you ask me, I would want the selectors to look at him as a red ball skipper, as a
Is he a
captain for the
full-time
next
skipper?
cycle.
Because
Full
he
time,
might not
full time.
play. all test matches even at home. So who will be his
That's okay.
deputy?
That's okay. I would want them to groom Rishabh Pant as a vice captain, and
Okay.
whenever he's not playing, Pant takes over the captaincy. It's not a
Mhm.
very big deal. We have seen if the core of the team remains
No
the same.
Shubman Gill. He's being
Nay,
tipped as the next skipper
no, 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 no,
to
no
have
way,
Mr.
no way,
Fixed in Virat Kohli.
no, no,
I
no,
don't
no.
know if he plays or not, but you do
Neither
have
of those.
KL
Neither
Rahul
of those.
because he led in South Africa.
He did, but see, with Rishabh now, what I see is that the typical a mercurial kind of a personality
Mhm.
with Rishabh Pant. Someone who can get along people, who can get everyone together. Captains have to be characters, right? You can't have
Right.
KL to me is very too silent, too aloof kind of a character.
Mhm.
And Gill, again, I don't see him as an inspiring leader. See what Punt did in this last test. He did not. He curbed his scoop shot and all that. In the first innings, he showed that he can play the waiting game as well. Okay,
Right.
for someone that young to curb his natural game and display what he can do with the patience also. So he scored a so he showed that he can score a patient 40 as well he can score a blitzing 60 as well. So someone
Yeah.
with that mindset, I feel it's a no brainer that Pant is the leader for the future. But till
Hmm.
then, I think Jassi should be handed over the reins as a captain for the next cycle at least, and let him then power this bowling attack, lead this bowling attack, help the younger fast bowlers to shape up, and and then utilize his peak to the fullest. So win a series in England, win a series in New Zealand, nothing like it, stamp his legacy in Indian cricket. It's time. It's time.
Right. Bowling captains have had good times of late.
Yes,
Pat Cummins has won everything under his belt. Just wants to
absolutely.
win the T20 World Cup, but unfortunately, he was not the captain. So I think he'll be made the captain with Mitch Marsh's form going around.
Hmm.
All right. So as we near the end of the show, what a fabulous series this has been. I think five test match series.
Hmm.
Expectations were actually 4-1 to Australia or even 5-0 to Australia because the way we lost to New Zealand at home. And I
New
think
Zealand.
the way that we lost to New Zealand at home is the only way that we lost the World Test Championship competition or the final berth. It's because you lost at home. You lost pride. You should have won the Test series.
Yeah.
We were timid. We were lackluster. But the way that we turned around in this series, uh,
Hmm.
winning Perth, putting up a show at least in Adelaide. I mean,
Hmm.
I just thought we'd lose by an innings, but uh, we gave them a target, a paltry target of 18,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah.
didn't give it to them.
Yeah.
Then we avoided follow on in Gabba. Rain saved us.
Yeah.
We did bowl well there. We turned around in MCG. We turned around in Sydney. So there have been a lot of positives for Indian cricket.
Lot of
Uh,
positives. Yes.
that
Yes.
that is how I see it because for me score lines don't matter as much
Yeah.
because I've seen 2023 World Cup final from the stadium. So I mean, there's nothing more than that day.
Yeah.
I've never expressed myself this way. So score lines don't matter to me, especially in Test cricket.
Yeah.
If you're able to fight, if you're able to put some fight to the opposition, even
Hmm.
today when they picked up 4 wickets, we just had that hope that maybe they'll pick those 6 wickets under 50 runs. So that sort of
Hmm.
thing
Hmm.
matters for me the most. And I think there are good days ahead for Indian cricket. But what a fabulous series this has been! Waking up at 5 a.m. to watch Test cricket. I'm pretty sure it's the
Yeah.
same for you as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. See, cricket in Australia has that aura. Early
Yeah,
mornings, you get up those huge grounds with the squared cut outfield, the grass that you see, and colorful crowds, huge filled stadiums, and so cricket in Australia is always fun to watch. And this series, and I think a very you rightly put across, lots and lots of positives for India. Jaiswal uh, kind of cementing his place. I am and some of the commentators have also kind of pointed out that he is the next big thing in Indian cricket after the Kohlis and the Sharmas.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, he's the next big thing, and he's displayed enough skills and enough of the gameplay to warrant that kind of praise. KL Rahul's redemption of sort, it's his second coming, I must say. Yeah, I mean he had lost it. We all felt कि भाई ये खत्म हो गया, that
Right.
he's
Nobody
done. He's
expected
done.
him to open,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I
I mean,
feel for
honestly, I
Abhimanyu in that sense.
yeah. I felt that KL is done. Not just red ball cricket, white ball cricket. KL is done. I felt permanently in
Mm.
cricket. I felt that he had lost it here itself. So that's a positive, of sorts. Emergence of Nitish Reddy is a big positive. I mean, someone who can bat that well and ball decent seam up. Okay. Um, Other than that, and then Bumrah's form. Siraj also, people have been a bit critical of Siraj, but I mean, 5 Test matches, he's bowled more
Immense
overs than
practice.
Bumrah. It's very hard on the body, yeah. It's very hard on the body, and the
Immense.
action that he has, the spirit that he has, running in every ball, it takes a toll. So yeah, Siraj also, I mean, great effort by him as well. So very exciting times. I mean, and this transition times na, are very exciting. You
Is
get to
exciting.
see
Yes.
the younger boys coming in, putting their hands up, and so just like this, we all loved Nitish Reddy's story, right? And if you look at this BGT, Nitish Reddy has been a hero loved by the masses. That story coming from that humble background, and then seeing his father there in the stands, those
Praying for a
emotions,
century. Yeah.
everyone loves that. So yeah, expecting more such younger lads to come in.
Right. So the bandwagon moves to white ball cricket, where we'll see 400 runs being scored for fun. We'll start with T20 cricket, and or right, rather, both of us might be in North Stand for the England T20 on February
Mm,
2nd. We'll try and record something during that time as well. Then the
yeah.
bandwagon moves to Ahmedabad for the ODI series, and then to Dubai for the Champions Trophy. So a lot of cricket pending. Um, England is coming. I mean, Joe Root is back to the ODI side after a decade probably. I have not seen him last bat in ODI for quite some time. Um, he's back in India. He's going to play ODI series. Very excited to watch Jacob Bethel. So a
Mm,
lot
yeah.
of cricket to cover. He's had an exciting BBL for the Melbourne Renegades so far.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Surya, the T20 captain. I mean, we are having the for the first time we are having split captaincy at the moment in
Yeah.
Indian cricket. Surya T20s, Rohit ODIs, and Bumrah Test matches. Bumrah Test matches with an asterisk because Rohit said
Asterix.
मैं किधर नहीं जा रहा हूँ.
जा
So
रहा हूँ.
it 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 means fun times. I mean, then you start IPL and then England series. Then West Indies come here, followed by South Africa. We go to
Yeah.
Australia for a limited over series. So there is a lot of cricket pending this year. Unfortunately, I've not started at a very nice note, but I think we'll finish this on a very high note. I have a very positive feeling about the year. So, thank you so much, Sagar, for joining us for the episode today. Had a lot of fun chatting to you. I hope
Pleasure,
likewise.
pleasure,
And
pleasure.
yeah,
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
absolutely, absolutely.
if you have some thoughts, do comment down below and let us know if we should do something special for certain retirements that are being tipped around. But yeah, I mean, we'll certainly do a special episode for Jasprit Bumrah shortly because he deserves one for the entire series and the entire workload that he's put on. And yeah, do like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you in a new episode. Until then, take care and bye bye.
Yeah. Thanks, Pranav. Bye bye, everyone.